Alright, since I like to speed render, I decided to recreate the Lego effect with American Gothic, and I want to do it as fast as possible because I think it shouldn't be too hard to texture that. So let's see what I can do here. Now, normally I would use my caliper to measure the precise dimensions of a Lego brick. Oops, grab on Z. But in this case, because it's a speed render and I'm not trying to be absolutely perfect, I'm just going to kind of wing it. And I do want to get as much detail in there as possible. Whoops. All right. That's probably good enough for now. Okay, so here we have our Lego brick. Let's go get the texture on there. Now, I could do a lot more UV unwrapping, but I'm not going to, just for this speed render. Let's go give this some material. We'll use Principled because it's the best. All right. I'm just going to project from view for now because why not? Create an image texture. And we're actually going to use this for displacement because it's not part of the color. Set this to multiply. I've already loaded my textures in, so Lego. If we go into our render, there we go. It's probably good enough, a little bit less rough. All right, that's fine. Then the next thing we want to do is get the actual American Gothic texture. So let's create another image texture. And again, I've already loaded that. So now obviously if we render, it's going to look weird because the entire image is on that one brick, but we can change that. So we're going to go over to our vertice menu. We're going to actually create another UV set, call this color. And we'll go get that UV set like that. But we're going to play with that in a moment. So now that I have this brick, what we're going to do is we're going to apply two modifiers to it. Well, I guess we can apply the bevel and the edge split for now. We'll put an array and we'll do 1.0. Numpad's not on. 1.0. Let's try 3. So there's a little bit of a gap between the bricks. Maybe that's a bit too much. There we go. I'm happy with that. And we'll do, let's say, 30. There's 30 bricks. And then we'll do another array modifier with the same thing, except instead of on X, we'll do it on Y. 1.01. And we'll do, I don't know, 70. That's a little bit off. Let's try 50. And maybe 35. Okay, I like that. So now I've duplicated all the bricks. If we go into render mode, they all still look the same. But we're about to change that. So with all my duplicated bricks, I'm going to apply both these array modifiers. Now I have one gigantic object. But that's fine, because with this second UV set selected, let's go into object mode because that's going to be kind of slow. With color selected and with American Gothic selected, I'm just going to unwrap this again. Project from view bounds. And so now what we have here is we have one UV set, for the color sampling of each brick, and one for the individual bump maps on the top of each brick. So we're using two different UV sets. So I'm going to get out of, well, not yet. It is slow because I have like a bajillion triangles right now, but Just trying to do this in beast mode as fast as possible. So now we're going to leverage something called individual origins. So what we're going to do is set our scaling mode to be individual origins. And I guess do it in this as well. Probably only need to do it in the UV editor, actually, now that I think about it. So what this will do is this will scale every object around itself. So what I'm just going to do is scale each one to 0. Oops, got to select them all first. Scale to 0. And so now they're just taking up exactly 1 pixel on the texture. So if we go to texture mode, we now have the correct colors for each pixel. And of course, if we go into render mode, we now have individual Lego bricks, each with their own bump map, leveraging the first UV set, which I didn't actually have to specifically apply it because it's the default one on the top. And then for the actual colors, we use another UV set. So there you go, 6 minutes and 18 seconds. We recreated this. And maybe it's a little bit too smooth. Put perspective on. There we go. And if you wanted more resolution for the bricks, when I did the array modifier step, you just, generate more bricks. Oh yeah, the background, I did this before I started recording. I put an HDRI image as my environment texture in Cycles so that I could get good lighting without having to actually set up lights. 6 minutes, baby.